Hey, my name's Brian. I used to have really bad acne. Wham, boom, bam, whammo. But over the course of a year on Accutane, I've cleared up a lot. Now I'm in the final stretches of my treatment. Enjoy my Accutane adventures. What's up, everybody? Welcome to what would be week 71 of my Accutane adventures. Now, you guys know that Monday is life/acne videos, right? So this is gonna be one of those Mondays where we're talking about life. As far as my acne goes, we're looking good, man. I dropped to 30 milligrams. We're looking nice and clear, super minimal side effects. But let's talk about what I want to talk about today. I want to give you guys a little piece of advice that I've recently taken on into my own life, probably in the last about a year or so. And that advice is just to be transparent with yourself and with others. Because being transparent with yourself and the way you feel to yourself allows you to understand your own emotions, but it also allows you to understand why you do certain things certain ways. You know, there's certain reactions that we have in life when we get into certain contexts and situations, and we just react a certain way, and we don't really know why. We don't really understand why we can't handle this situation, so we act this way or whatever. But if you're more transparent about yourself and who you are, you're gonna break down those little barriers you put down of who you think you are and what you think your ego is and what you think your mind thinks and who you think you are and what your presentation is to the world and stuff like that. You're gonna forget about those things that you've created and start understanding who you really are. For example, I used to always have the hardest time even coming to terms with the fact that I might be slightly emotionally, you know, affected by something. You know, if I was ever like sad, or if there's ever some sort of situation where I was stressing or having some sort of a hard time, I would definitely put that deep inside of me. I would bottle that down to the bottom of the bottle and never let anyone see that. I would never want anyone to see that I was not a macho man. And by doing that, I convinced myself that I wasn't an emotional person. I told myself, you know, like, oh, you're someone who just doesn't cry. But in the last year of being more transparent with myself, I've seen the way that I react and interact with other people change a lot because I understand who I am more. Whereas back in the day, I might have thought, you know, like my emotions that I might be feeling are stupid, or I shouldn't be feeling those. That's not me, that's not manly or whatever. Now I understand it more, so I can embrace it a lot more. When you embrace your emotions and when you're more transparent with who you are, you embrace yourself more. So you embrace what you are, who you are, what your goals are, what you want to do with your life, and you start to understand yourself more instead of trying to understand this thing that you're trying to present to people. I feel like everyone has sort of their public mask, their public persona that they want people to think of them as. They want to be like, oh yeah, everyone thinks of me as like the cool guy with the classy shoes every day that are always super cool, and I'm the guy who always comes in and does the best, and blah 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 blah. And yeah, that's cool. That's cool to have, like, you know, the thing that you want to live up to or whatever, but don't be untrue to yourself. Be true to yourself. Every single time that you have the opportunity to do it, be transparent and be true to yourself, because people will respect the hell out of that. And when I say that people will respect the hell out of that, what I mean is by being more transparent with yourself and with others and allowing people to see a deeper level of you and understand you a little bit more, they will understand who you are more. Because if you're becoming friends with people, but you're always showing them your persona or your mask, your face that you're trying to present to them, then they're gonna get to know that person, that version of yourself that you have fabricated in your mind to present. They're gonna get used to that person, they're gonna become really close to that person, but what if this is true? What if you're being closed-minded and the person you're presenting is not truly how you feel? It's not truly who you are if you had finally let go of yourself and allowed yourself to be who you wanted to be. That would be terrible, right? Because you'd be friends with these people that thought that they were really, really good friends with you. They thought they had a great connection with you, but on the real though, you had only let them know maybe 50% of you. They had gotten used to, or they had fallen in love or become really good friends with one half of you. So by not being transparent with your friends or your partner or whoever it is, you could have either created friendships with people that aren't compatible with you, or you've stopped yourself from growing deeper with those people. You stop yourself from creating a better, deeper relationship with those people because you're presenting what you think is true, but you're just not being true to them. And believe me, I know how hard it is to be transparent. It is so damn weird to open up. It is so weird. I've had such a hard time opening up emotionally to people, and specifically with my ex-girlfriends, I've always had a very hard time opening up about how I'm feeling, talking about the situation of how I'm feeling, and then discussing how to like fix it or whatever. So that's one of the things where I'm not transparent with my feelings because I just don't want to talk about my emotions or whatever. And that's where I need to work on it. I need to fix that. It's something that I've seen myself have, trouble with, struggle with, and that's somewhere that I need to work it on. Now you can figure out where you can work on being transparent and integrate that into your life. Maybe you realize that you're not being open with your partner, or maybe you realize that one of your best friends, you've been holding a secret back from them or something like that. Whatever it is, be transparent. Now I'm gonna tell you guys a few things that I have become transparent with in the last couple of years, at least as far as telling people about my transparencies. I'm just gonna list a few of them just to like kind of spark the fire for you guys, and I guess kind of inspire you, because like I'm being really open and I'm telling you guys some things that could be embarrassing or misconstrued or whatever it could be, who knows, but maybe this will inspire you to be more transparent, because I'm being so transparent with all of you guys, thousands of you guys can be a little bit more transparent with just the people in your local locus of control, the people that you interact with on a daily basis. Now when I was younger, this one was actually super embarrassing for me, especially when I was still in high school, because it was just so recent that people would think of this, they'd hear me say this, and then they would construe their own idea, their own stereotype of what it means. But I was actually homeschooled all the way up until 8th grade. I actually skipped 8th grade. I went up to 7th grade, skipped 8th grade, and then went straight into high school. So I actually had no public school experience before high school. I didn't have any like public school friends. I had friends from like church and soccer and stuff like this. But I went into high school, day one, I knew only one person. That was from my soccer team. That was it. Another thing that I've become transparent, and I'm still working on being more transparent with in the last year, is just letting go of my ego, my persona, my mask, like I was telling you guys about earlier. I've always thought like, oh man, I want to be the guy who's like super sick, who's doing it right, who's successful, who people are impressed with, who is always right and just always, 100%. You can look at me like I'm perfect or whatever. That's what I used to want. That's what I used to want to present to people. And now I realize like that's not what life is about. It's not about being 100% perfect, because no one is 100% perfect. Regardless of how cool their movies are, regardless of how cool the pictures are on Instagram, no matter how many followers you got on YouTube or on all your social media or whatever, none of us are perfect. And I always liked the idea of sounding like I knew exactly what I was going to do my whole life. I was always going 100% committed into it, and I didn't always know what I was going to do, honestly. When I was in high school, I was pretty sure I was going to do something like in the fitness world or something, and then I kind of got like a little confused about whether or not I was going to actually be able to do that, if I was going to be able to stick to going through college and then become a nutritionist or whatever. So for a little bit, I was actually kind of lost. Like I knew what I wanted to do, but I just wasn't sure if that was what I was going to do. Very confusing. But for a little bit of time, I was actually going to enlist in the Marines. I was going to go through the officer training program. And the reason that I was personally going to do that was, one, I respected the Marines a hell of a lot. My brother went through the Marines and stuff, so I just had a lot of respect for the Marines. But also, I just didn't know what else I wanted to do with my life. So I was going to enlist and then go through that 4 years and then figure out what I was going to do from there. So that's it's just hard for me a little bit to, I guess, admit that I wasn't always on track. Like I didn't always know exactly what I wanted to do. This one's kind of like a little fun fact of transparency. I actually have one sister. I have 2 brothers. Why did I put up 3? That was 3. 2 brothers. This one is really good. This one is something that I'm still struggling with to this day. I constantly have to like check myself and make sure that I wasn't doing something like that, because this is not something that I like about myself, but it is something I'm trying to improve on. When I'm wrong about something that I thought I was right about, and then I find out that I was wrong about it, I will sometimes still try to fight the point that I'm right. And I mean, that goes different with a lot of different contexts and situations. Like obviously if someone I'm not sure is saying that I'm wrong, I'm definitely gonna fight them about it and be like, no, I'm definitely right. But even when like someone proves it to me somehow, I can't think of a situation, but think someone proves it to me, I'll sometimes still try to be right. Now, this point, I do that a lot less. I probably don't do that as often as it sounds, but back in the day, it was like 9 times out of 10. Like if I was wrong, but I was right, I was right, even though I was wrong. Here's a good one. I get jealous sometimes. I do. I get jealous of people who are successful, I get jealous of people who are in positions that I want to be in. And it's not a negative jealousy, it's not a hatred or anything like that. It's not it's not spite or envy or anything like that. It's just kind of like, it's admiration with a little bit of wishing that that was you. jealousy. And for this video, this will be the last transparency, but I think it's a very good one to end on. This is something that I don't really talk about a lot, and I used to really hide a lot more when I was, you know, trying to first get into the fitness industry. I used to be like, no, I can't talk about this at all. But I realized it's actually a pretty good thing to talk about. You know, a lot of people can relate to this one for sure. I used to drink a lot. Like, I used to drink a lot. When I was a little bit younger, I used to go to probably at least one party a weekend, probably 2 parties a weekend, maybe 3 if we were including all nights, you know, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. It kind of used to be like my thing, you know. I used to like really enjoy going to parties and stuff because I was just going through school. There wasn't much going on, and I'm not gonna lie about it. I'm never gonna lie about that. There was a point where I was drinking a copious amount. I was probably not doing good things for my body as far as like health goes and stuff like that. You know, I was still lifting at that point, but I was drinking and I was eating bad food, and this was happening on like a nightly, and then I wouldn't sleep a lot. I'd stay up all night, I'd be doing these crazy things, be running around the city and stuff like that. Luckily, I never hurt myself, I never hurt anyone else, and I never put anyone in a situation where they could get in trouble or get hurt. I was always responsible about it. I know that sounds stupid as hell because I just told you that I got really drunk, but I was definitely more responsible about it than other people that were drinking as much as I was. But yeah, that's something I want to tell you guys. Like, you know, I used to drink a lot of alcohol, and that's something I'm not very proud of. It's not something that I think is like awesome, or like you guys are gonna be like, wow, that's cool, I'm so impressed by the fact you used to drink a lot of alcohol. There's not really an advantage as far as that goes, but my point here is to be open with you guys so you guys can understand that being open feels good, and being open allows people to come closer to you and understand who you are and how you became who you became to this day. Anyways, guys, I hope that this week you can challenge yourself just a little bit to be just even in one situation more transparent. Maybe you talk to your best friend, maybe talk to your girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever, maybe talk to your parents or whatever, somebody that you should be transparent with, you've always had a kind of a troublesome time with doing that, and try being transparent, see how it works. I would love to hear how that works for you guys. I'd love to hear if, you know, you enjoyed this talk about transparency, if it affected you at all. If you did enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up. Let me have a comment, let me know, give me that feedback back, and if you're not subscribed to the channel already, make sure you subscribe. 10% off of Machine Fitness, coupon code and link below in the description. Thank you all for watching. Team Beyond the Week. Big J.
Live till you die, MIRIN!